Hey, welcome back, guys. We are finally back in full effect with Power Ghost Season 2. And this first episode covered just about all bases regarding our favorite characters, their whereabouts, and the crosses they'll be forced to carry this season. I'm here to break it all down in typical Top 10 WTF fashion. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Power. Here we go. WTF moment number 10, Trial by Fire. The episode begins with Tariq being interrupted by his younger sister Yaz's cries. She pleads for her brother's help after nearly burning the kitchen down trying to make breakfast for the family. Her yearnings for help really drive home how different her upbringing has become and will continue to be, minus her mother and father's influence, both of which she has her brother to thank for. Perhaps more shocking was Big Mama's reveal and disheveled state. The stress from all the turmoil regarding her family has driven her to destructive vices, setting the stage for Yaz's potential removal from the home via the state, something Tariq will be projectedly fighting against as we roll on through. WTF moment number 9, enter Mecca. Kane and Lil Guap broker a drug deal with a new connect named Mecca. Kane questions the mysterious supplier, believing him to be law enforcement undercover. In the midst of his inquiries, the three men are confronted by the remaining members of Guap's fledgling gang. They threaten all their lives, deeming Mecca guilty by association. However, Mecca easily discards the lingering members, viciously removing them after pleas for mercy. This scene served as a great introduction for perhaps Power's next big bad. Mecca is no-nonsense and ego-driven, with a strong hatred for the slightest disrespect. Definitely one to watch as things progress. WTF moment number 8, close call. Diana is temporarily hassled by the police while out shopping with Monet. The matriarch goes into full defense mode when seeing her daughter in potential danger, even clutching a piece for good measure. Thankfully, the situation required none of the above, as Diana finessed her way out of danger using Monet's tutelage and, of course, those beautiful features. More on that later. WTF moment number 7, dream deferred. Monet attempts to bridge the gap with Drew by purchasing him a full set of new art supplies. This briefly brings joy to the grieving Tejada. However, upon trying to utilize his drawing hand and failing miserably, his anger is compounded by his temporary handicap, which he blames Monet for. I'll be dissecting this more later in the video, so stick around. WTF moment number 6, Minority Report. Tariq offers a thorough education to Congressman Rick Sweeney, an old college roommate to Braden's father and Tate's lone barrier to political supremacy, ironically enough. The congressman makes several offhand remarks and assumptions about Tariq's educational and financial background, attempting to compartmentalize him into simply another minority box of charity. Tariq overwhelms the congressman's assumptions with the revelation that his father was well-to-do and a political figure in his own right. These epiphanies, along with Tariq's assessment of legal versus illegal drugs, humble the congressman, much to the delight of the younger Westons. WTF moment number 5, first date with death. Carrie meets up with Detective Kevin Whitman, a new character who just so happens to be the lead investigator on Jabari's murder. Under the guise of a first date, he tricks Carrie into IDing Jabari's corpse, which shell-shocks the professor who was previously unaware of his demise. Carrie rebukes his insinuations, but assists the detective in his case by providing names of his students, advisees, and those questioned in the pool murder at Stansfield. Carrie's treading on dangerous water with this alliance. Remember, she has a former background as a prosecutor, possibly making her an asset to the police and against everyone else. Be careful, Professor Pretty. WTF moment number 4, interrogation on the menu. Monet receives the news about Jabari's death and promptly invites Tariq over for dinner to question him on the matter. Tariq denies any knowledge or involvement in the death of his curious professor and assures the collective that he's uninvolved and more than ready to move their product undetected. This scene was trippy because outside of the tension created by Tariq's deceptions, it showed the simmering viciousness of the Tejada children that's normally suppressed by Monet's overzealousness. They have just as much ruthlessness pent up inside as Monet has on the outside, and when it's fully harnessed, that is going to be something to see. WTF moment number 3, exactly who you are. Mecca meets with Kane and offers him the opportunity to settle the score with his previous adversaries discarded during their initial encounter. He qualifies Kane's decision by deducing his capabilities based on the choice. Kane chooses to shoot the fair one with the captive Guap, eventually getting the better of him following the brief melee, and exhibiting exactly who he is to his prospective mentor and supplier. WTF moment number 2, kill shot. Tariq agrees to go hunting with Brayden and his overzealous lot. Once in the field, Reek becomes dismayed with the sporting aspect of killing the helpless, experiencing several flashbacks of his own where murder was mandated rather than thrill-seeking. After nearly being shot himself by Brayden's pops, he's offered the kill shot for the deer, but ultimately refuses and removes himself. And WTF moment number 1, who is this? Tariq yet again Humpty Dumpty's his phone, hoping to receive an update from Tasha. Upon rebooting it this time, however, he receives an incoming call from an unknown number. Curiosity prevails, and he answers the call, only for the caller to be revealed as the same police detective investigating Jabari's death. This was a major blunder by our series lead, and confirmed for the police that their search is as narrow as Stansfield's square footage. Some lingering thoughts before we end today's video. The theme of this episode was free will and our leverage in the matter. The dynamic was displayed by montages of the powerful versus the powerless, and showed just who was calling the shots at this preliminary juncture of the season. It also challenged our series lead to reevaluate his position on Jabari's execution. In short, did he really have to kill that nigga? Or was there another way? This part of Tariq's journey will teach him the power of options and alternatives, assuming he survives it all, of course. Tariq reassembled and disassembled his phone 3 times in hopes of hearing from Tasha. Life without his mother is new terrain for him, and he's searching for her guidance and understanding under these uncertain times where things seem to be on the precipice of disaster. The flames during Yaz's kitchen fiasco eerily foreshadowed her fate under Tariq's provision going forward potentially. This is the season of consequences, and I don't see them blessing us with a happy ending in her regard. Fingers crossed though. We're finally starting to see the evolution of the Tejada children, their inevitable transition from underneath Monet's thumb to full adulthood and independence. Whether through realization, reconciliation, or discontent, each Tejada will forge a new path this season, and Monet's approach with her offspring is going to have to change if she hopes to maintain their loyalty and presence. While we're on the Tejadas, did y'all see Diana in that dress? She's always been among my favorites of the 3, but damn, this gonna be one of them campaigns for her, and I'm looking forward to her development. On the subject of discontent, Drew is in a tough place psychologically. It's a necessary part of his character development from meek soldier to ruthless leader, but it's still difficult to digest. The scene where he attempted to clear his mind artistically, only to realize he physically could not, was indicative of him and Monet's current relationship. She's blocking his pathway to greater things that would define him as his own man. Her perpetual iron fist over his destiny led to his unfortunate shooting, which he rightfully resents her for. His inability to express himself artistically was yet another reminder of her influence over that destiny and its dead-end effects. Tariq's experience during the hunting scene was a deep one. It was a soft reference to that Get Out scene, where Chris accidentally hit a deer and mirrored the helpless animal's victimization with his own predicament as a black man in America. Here, Tariq's vision served to reinforce the question of free will and whether or not it is indeed free in nature. Reek is undoubtedly a killer, but a killer with a cause, with purpose. Tariq has never taken a life for fun or sport. Jabari was a civilian, not a criminal in the life. We've seen Tariq not only spare, but also help civilians evade harm, but never harm one. That lane is more Kanan, Tommy, Kane inspired. For Tariq, murder is a means to an end, not a joyful happenstance executed whenever one's trigger finger gets itchy. He associated that helpless deer with the helplessness of his late professor, which is why the visions mirrored one another. This is also why he refused to carry out the deer's shooting and chose to promptly excuse himself from the trip altogether. Zeke's mental state will be pivotal to Monet's future plans, and that state seems as fragile as ever, especially after Carrie's revelation that Monet threatened her. The Tejada matriarch will be forced to once again adjust her hardline approach if there's any hope to achieve her lofty unilateral goals. We'll see if she's able to hold it all in line. If Emeka Okafor keeps training Zeke, then she's gonna need a new strategy altogether if we keeping it G. Watching Kamal and Tate back at it was refreshing. It showed why their episode from Power's Final 5 worked so well and ushered in Tate's story once again. The stage is set for him to reclaim civic glory now that Tariq has an inroad to his political nemesis. Tate will surely exchange any favor with Tariq for that level of knowledge, information, and ultimately opportunity for resurgence. Let's see how it all unfolds. And lastly, I was glad to see the return of Steven Ott. That dude is pure comedy and will be an integral player in Tate's story, no doubt. And that'll do it for this one. What were your thoughts on Power Ghost Season 2's premiere? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.